Welcome everybody. I'm Andrea Miller and I'm a registered dietitian and certified diabetes educator here at Community Hospitals and Wellness Centers in Bryan. And today I have for the second time, my second time as a sous chef, Chad Tinkle with me. You have a slightly different role this time here at the hospital. Hopefully you know Chad. He's the president and CEO of our hospital, so he's joining me again today. It was almost 4 years ago.
Yeah, and I think it was the inaugural one.
Yes, you were the very first sous chef. So now you're my first sous chef back from my maternity leave.
Well, so exciting, and welcome back.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back.
And thanks for having me back.
We welcomed our third son in December. His name's Archer. So we're excited. I'm excited to be back and doing Live It Again. So today, this is the first episode that I didn't have anything to do with planning, so my team did a great job planning our episode today, and I think an audience member suggested our very first recipe that we're going to be doing. We're making avocado brownies.
Awesome.
And the theme today is Love Ranch, and Love Ranch has a double meaning. So everybody loves ranch. Most people, I guess, love ranch. And also, the ranch that we're doing today is also heart healthy.
Oh, nice.
And we actually created this ranch dressing and ranch chicken especially for our patients, because I think you know better than anyone that we really think that patient satisfaction is important here.
We do.
And our kitchen, I think, goes above and beyond to make sure that our patients get what they're asking for. So everybody was requesting ranch dressing, but ranch dressing is typically too high in fat and too high in salt for our patients that are on a heart-healthy diet. So we made one for them that was heart-healthy.
That is great. It's amazing how much food can impact that patient satisfaction.
Yes.
And we do have a wonderful nutritional food service staff that provides those patients with their choice of meal and some excellent meals and those choices with healthy choices.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything, I know our least popular diet here probably is the heart healthy one, because it is so low in sodium. People come in and they're not used to that, but I think we really try to, give them options that they like and hopefully teach them to enjoy foods in a new way, to enjoy the actual flavor that's in foods versus just the salt.
Yes.
So, and our brownies are a little bit more heart healthy as well, because instead of using an oil in them, we're actually going to use some avocados in our brownies today, and that's our primary fat source in the brownies. We're not actually adding any oil at all. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on our avocado brownies, and while I'm doing that, I'll have you spray our 8x8 pan. To get started with the avocado brownies, you preheat your oven, which we obviously don't have here, to 350. And then you grease the pan. So the recipe says 1 large avocado. These avocados are a little bit small, so we're going to use 2. So for the avocado, I've talked about this a little bit before. We're going to slice all the way around the center and twist it. My trick with the avocado, I hit the pit, wiggle it out, and then using your thumbs, press down and remove the pit. And we're going to spoon the avocado into our food processor. So these might go over well in your house too, because heart health is important in your house.
It is.
As well. With
being married to Dr. Tinkle, a cardiologist, I have to admit, it was just probably 2 years ago that I could not stand avocados, but she has gotten me to enjoy them now. So I'm excited about this, because I think I might actually be able to tell her about this recipe, and she'll be excited about it as well.
And let me tell you, this is a really delicious way to enjoy avocados, because you don't actually taste, I didn't do very well on that part, but you don't actually taste the avocado in this recipe. You taste chocolate.
Which is the best part.
Exactly. I mean, that's what you want to taste when you're eating a brownie. You don't want to taste the avocado. And the other part is you're not going to notice any green coloring in your brownie either. The cocoa is going to completely take over the color, so that it's not going to look any different. All right, so we have our avocados, and then we have a 1/2 cup of applesauce. You could also use mashed banana in here if you wanted. I tend to always have really ripe bananas in my house.
Yeah.
I kind of use them as sugar because they're super, super sweet. So honestly, I would probably use banana in my house, but you can use whatever you prefer, whatever you have. And then we're using some real maple syrup, which it's actually, did you know that maple syrup has a season?
No, I don't think I did.
It is almost maple syrup season in Northwest Ohio. Technically, I think it is because of the winter we've had. So we're using 1/2 cup of pure maple syrup. Have you ever been to the Maple Syrup Festival at the Williams County Fairgrounds?
My kids have been there on a school trip, but I have not.
Okay. I went last year, and it was a lot of fun.
Was it?
Yeah, there's a pancake and sausage breakfast, which might not be
Were they healthy?
so heart healthy, but it was a lot of fun. No, definitely not heart healthy, but a fun thing to do once a year. And then there's a horse-drawn carriage ride out to the maple syrup trees that they tap, and they show you how they get the sap.
Awesome.
And then the sugar house, they boil it down. So that's a really cool thing to do in Northwest Ohio, and that's real close to our other hospital campus.
Yes.
So, okay, so I have 1/2 cup of maple syrup. We're going to put a teaspoon of vanilla in there as well. And the plastic didn't get taken off of these. The only ones that didn't. You know what? I'm just going to kind of eyeball it in there.
It's a great
There we go.
chef. You just eyeball it.
That's right. That's what Rachel Ray does.
Yes.
That's what I did on maternity leave. I watched cooking channels and got inspiration. They don't measure anything.
you
They just eyeball it.
Did you miss work that much that you had to watch cooking shows?
I did. It was actually before the baby was born. I was on bed rest. So I had nothing to do. So I watched cooking shows. So we're going to give this a spin. Maybe. Okay, we're going to see what's going on in there. The avocados may have just gotten. We're going to slice up the avocados a little bit. You can also do this in a blender. There we go.
That's better.
Avocados just got stuck a little bit. You want to make sure it's nice and blended because you don't really want to bite into a chunk of avocado in your chocolate brownie.
Yeah.
All right, that's good enough.
So you're just substituting the oil
Pretty
for
much.
this?
Yeah, because avocados are very high in fat, but they're a heart-healthy type of fat, mostly mono, unsaturated fat, so that's good for your heart. It's the avocado in here is going to give it a nice, rich, consistency that kind of replaces the oil. So really, any mashed fruits and vegetables can often replace fats in recipes, but the fact that this is a fatty, it's technically a fruit, kind of helps the mouthfeel, I guess.
For you, or get rid?
You know what, we're just going to set it right down here. All right, so now we're going to get the rest of the ingredients in. So I'm going to go ahead and crack some eggs in here. If you want to add our flour and our cocoa powder, and I'll get you a measuring spoon for the salt, because we are adding a little bit of salt to these, but just a 1/4 teaspoon. So I'll let you start with that.
Awesome.
Just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then the rest of the ingredients are all measured. We're going to put 3 eggs in. The only thing we're not adding into here is our chocolate chips and our walnuts, because we're going to sprinkle those on top. So we have a teaspoon of baking powder, and then a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder and 2/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. I used.
Want me to mix that now?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah. Go ahead. And actually, I'll give you
Nice.
the whisk.
Awesome.
The
I'll
whisk.
swap you. Don't.
I have some eggs on my hands, so I'm going to sneak around you and
Yep.
grab Purell wipe real quick. So, yeah. So just like regular brownies.
Yeah,
kind
like
of.
out of a box.
Out of a box, you know.
Hey, look at, I made a mess just like I do at home too.
That's all right. You know, the one benefit here is you don't have to clean it up. So.
Oh, you're right.
Right. Yeah, the cocoa powder can get a little bit dusty. I think I was saying, so I used 100% whole wheat flour in here, which is an option. You could also use, I think the original recipe used some coconut flour in here as well. So, you know, there are different options that you can use for flours, but I think most people have all-purpose flour in their kitchen. And if you're not somebody that likes to experiment, stick with this recipe. But if you are somebody that likes to experiment, you can try some different things. Like I said, the banana instead of the applesauce, you know, would be fine. I actually, when I made it at home, I didn't quite have enough maple syrup, so I used honey.
Oh,
That
that'd be good.
would also work as well. So, yeah, anything goes. You can do a lot of different options with these brownies. So,
How's that looking?
that looks good.
All right.
So let's go ahead and we'll pour it into the
Okay. I can.
pan, and I'll let you get the chocolate chips
Okay.
and the walnuts. We're going to sprinkle those right on top. Walnuts also supply some heart-healthy fats.
So you put these on before you bake it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to sprinkle them right on top so it makes them nice and pretty. So then these go in a 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes after we sprinkle the walnuts and the chocolate on top. You can use any type of chocolate you want. Obviously, dark chocolate's going to have more heart health benefits, but any kind will do. I was thinking I usually have a tub underneath.
Yeah.
That's one thing I forgot in the past couple months, so that's all right. Those look so good already,
I
but
do.
when they come out of the oven, they're gonna look.
Oh, that looks great.
You want to dig into it right
I
now?
do, but I'll wait.
So they cut a large portion size, I guess, in the kitchen. The portion size on your recipe is not for this big of a size, unfortunately. But I think everybody would like to dig into a brownie that size, right?
Yes.
So, all right, so let's move on to our next recipe.
The service is over. All the family and friends have returned home. Everybody's returned to their own life. Sometimes there just needs to be a little more help. That's when the staff at Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Aftercare Director Kurt Bennett are here to continue to serve you.
Whether it's through grief groups, needing additional information, or sitting down with Kurt, we can help you cope during your grief journey. From pre-need to aftercare, Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home, just because you walked out the door doesn't mean we forgot about you.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters invites you to become Bryan Strong. In the past 3 years, the Bryan Athletic Booster Board of Directors has purchased new women's basketball uniforms, new football uniforms, and the Athletic Wall of Fame you can see in the hallway next to the gymnasium at Bryan High School. They have also made donations to the Bryan Soccer Association for the lighting project and the Bryan Swim and Dive teams to offset the cost of YMCA diving board and pool equipment. With your contributions, we can accomplish even more. Become a Bryan Strong corporate patron today. Go Bears!
One thing that hasn't changed here at Bryan Ford Lincoln is our commitment to service. It's in everything we do. It's in our mission statement. Our goal is simple: customers for life. Kick back in our newly renovated service lounge or business center. We pick up and deliver throughout the local area at no charge. So the next time you need service on your Ford or competitive make vehicle, come out and see us at Bryan Ford Lincoln and see why we've earned Ford Motor Company's President's Award 7 times running.
You're one of a kind, unique in every way. Shouldn't your home be too? King's Flooring and Furniture in downtown Defiance. 20,000 square feet of showroom with style and quality you won't find anywhere else. And they're an outlet store too, so you can find the pieces you've always wanted and not crush your budget. It doesn't stop at furniture either. King's has one of the largest selections of flooring and tile in the area. Find them on the web at kingsflooringandfurniture.com. King's Flooring and Furniture in downtown Defiance. They have just what you're looking for.
Things just aren't the way they used to be. Whatever happened to businesses that were eager to please you? At Krill Funeral Service, we offer the same outstanding service we offered decades ago. Are we hopelessly out of style? We certainly hope so. Krill Funeral Service, 860 West Mulberry Street in Bryan.
Here at the Williams County Veterans Service Office, our mission is plain and simple. We are here to serve our local Williams County veterans and their dependents. We are staffed with trained service officers who have the compassion and understanding to assist their fellow veterans in obtaining all federal and state benefits that they have earned. Additionally, we provide emergency financial assistance and transportation to VA medical centers. So if you're a veteran or a dependent of a veteran, stop in today and see how we can help you at the Williams County Veterans Service Office.
All right, so now we're going to get onto our ranch. So we actually make our own ranch seasoning here. So I'm going to have Chad dump the ingredients as I go along. So we have our spice blend. So we have some onion powder and some garlic powder. And the measurements are on your recipe, but the onion is a teaspoon, garlic is a half of a teaspoon. We have some dried dill, a teaspoon of that, and also a tablespoon of dried parsley. And then this powder up here is a dry buttermilk powder. And I actually bought some on Amazon. I'm not sure what stores you can find them in.
Use a spoon? Or?
Yeah, we can go ahead and use a spoon
Okay.
to stir it all together. Again, you can easily find it on Amazon. That's a great place to find ingredients that you have a hard time finding in the store. You could probably check Walmart. Walmart might have it. I'm not sure about Chief, so good luck finding it. But if you can't, then you could always go to Amazon. So we have that all stirred together. Buttermilk powder does need to be refrigerated after opening. That means our seasoning mix needs to be refrigerated after it's mixed up as well. So store it in your refrigerator, or in your freezer. It'd be fine in your freezer. It'd probably last longer in your freezer, honestly. So then we're going to actually make our seasoning into ranch dressing that we use for our patients. So we have some sour cream. We have a get on the right recipe here. It's a half a cup of low-fat sour cream. So, and 2 tablespoons of mayo.
Sorry.
We can add that first, no problem. You can use this spatula if you like. So 2 tablespoons of regular mayo. We found that since this is a little bit lower in fat and it doesn't have any actual salt added, the regular mayo just kind of gives it a little bit of a better taste. And it adds a little bit of fat, but this is still a really, it's a lower fat ranch dressing. There's only about 4 grams of fat per 2 tablespoons, which is very good compared to the regular, ranch dressings. And then we added some milk to that, and these are all low-fat versions of them. So,
right.
And then, so we're going to stir. You can go ahead and stir that up, and we're adding a tablespoon of the ranch powder. And just do the best you can, mixing that all in there. So this dip, it goes really well as a dip, and then also, this is how we're using it today as a dip for vegetables, or you can also use it on a salad. So if you want to drizzle it on a salad, if it's too thick for a salad, you can always thin it down with a little bit of extra milk added to it. So again, we have it featured in our little container here. I'm going to open this up. So we're using it as a dip in this recipe. You can see, that's kind of what it looks like when it's all done. So some nice raw vegetables. Yes. So this is actually one of the reasons why you're here today is because we wanted to talk a little bit about this container. And this is your brainchild. You can hold your container.
Sure, yeah, it's my baby, right?
Exactly.
So, thank you. So I unfortunately will eat at my desk more than I should, and I always was grabbing a styrofoam container. And then when I would throw that styrofoam container away, I noticed all the other styrofoam containers in the garbage. And I felt really bad from an environmental standpoint. So I asked Jan to look into possibilities of recycled containers. And she came up with the great idea of this, which can be used up to 1,000 to 2,000 times based on how it's used. And it's been a great success. We've already gotten feedback from our facilities that our disposable waste is down. So we are accomplishing a better carbon footprint from the hospital itself.
That's really important.
It is.
We, try to do the best we can.
Definitely.
As far as a carbon, the carbon footprint that we have. So.
Yeah, and then we actually came up with this, Jess Hesgard, our marketing, came up with this great little slogan here. It says, 1, take an Echo box. 2, fill it with your favorite foods. 3, return the empty container. And then redo it again.
Yeah, and we wash them here.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry about taking them home and washing them, which I think is great for our employees, because who has time to take their containers home? I think they'd end up piling up in our offices, right? Yeah. so yeah, I think it's a really great great step we're taking to reduce our carbon footprint, and very convenient. And they're small. They're not really bulky, and they stack nicely. So Jan was saying, when you put them on the carts of the dirty dishes, they actually take up less room than the real dishes do.
So one of my favorite things to do now is if I'm in the dining room in the servery area and I'm grabbing lunch and I see someone take a styrofoam container, I like to guilt them. And say, why aren't you taking an Echo box and doing a recycle?
That's right. That's right. That's good. I'll take that out of your hands. So we've now made the dressing. We've made the brownie in here, so you can see it has our whole meal that we're making today. But there's one thing we haven't made yet, and that's our chicken. So we're going to get on that as well. And this is a ranch dip chicken that we actually do for our patients that's low in sodium, and I guess that's a pretty popular option. I made it at home and I think it's pretty good. So so we're going to take the cream cheese. Yeah, and you can just use that. You can just use the ranch spatula, because it's going to be ranch flavored anyway. So go ahead and use that, and then I'm going to, before you add that real quick, I'm going to, whoops.
Sorry. Who has to do the cleanup again?
And beat that real quick. Well. Okay.
Would you like the or would you like
the spatula from you? This is the fun part of our live productions is, stuff happens.
It does.
And we just roll with it.
Yeah.
That when I was doing my research when I was on bed rest, watching the cooking channel, I happened to watch like a live Thanksgiving production, and stuff happens on their cooking shows too. But on real cooking shows, they get the luxury of like redos and retakes, and we don't get that here. So this is all live, so everything's happening.
Do you remember our first shoot? We actually did 2 takes.
We did.
Yeah.
We did, but we didn't do any editing.
No.
At all. So
they decided that we were just as good on the first one as the second one. We just did get better.
I think so. So we're adding some sour cream in to our cream cheese. We used 4 ounces of cream cheese and some sour cream. It was about 1/4 cup of low-fat sour cream. And then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of our ranch powder. And then we're even going to add some extra spices as well.
Are they ready for these?
Yep, we have a teaspoon each of dill, parsley, onion, and garlic.
I can smell the dill.
Yeah, dill's one of my favorite herbs. I love it. It's actually, so the technical term is dill weed. And it does grow like a weed. I grow it in my garden, and I'm actually dreading this spring because I wasn't very careful about the seeds this year.
Oh.
And so they all fell into my garden. So I know I'm going to have about 10 million, I'm not exaggerating either, 10 million dill plants in my garden this spring. So.
Will they take over the garden if you're not careful?
Yes,
Yeah?
they will. So I'll be busy weeding
Okay.
my dill weed.
Well, you have 3 boys now, so.
That's right. The youngest one's not going to be much
true.
help, but my oldest ones, they're a little bit of a help now. So.
Well, that's great.
So then we're going to take our chicken. We can put on our gloves for this because we are purposefully doing our chicken last. So we don't have any salmonella cross-contamination. And then, I don't actually think we're going to, yeah,
Okay.
Yep, that's perfect. We're going to just use a couple chicken breasts.
Okay.
I'll have you put maybe line up 3 in there.
Okay.
The recipe's for 6, but you want to.
Did you know something?
1 second.
Raw chicken
Pause.
almost makes me gag.
Well, gee, Chad, that would have been nice to know before we
I
started.
cannot cut the fat off a raw chicken because I can't eat it then. So Jody has to do that for me.
Well, so if Chad starts gagging, you know
Yes,
why.
it's not. It's
All right, so then just dab it off with a paper towel.
See what I'm willing to do for you? I actually touched raw chicken, but I had a glove on at least.
I don't love touching raw chicken either. That's one thing in the kitchen. I have gotten better about it, but it's not my favorite. Okay. And there's a spatula somewhere. So we're going to just take some of this and spread it right on the chicken, right on top. And again, this is for 6, so spread is for 6 chicken breasts, and we're just doing 3 on here. So just try to spread it out as evenly as possible. Kind of looks like butter on the chicken, doesn't it?
Similar texture.
Yeah, but it's lower in fat than just pure butter on your chicken. So. And actually, the recipe does say sprinkle the chicken with some pepper. I don't think we have pepper right with us, but you can sprinkle it with some pepper. And if you're not low sodium, you could sprinkle a little bit of salt on the chicken as well. A little bit. And that's good enough for now. And then we're actually using a garlic butter spray. So you can just give it a little spray.
Right.
If you can't find this or don't want to buy some garlic butter spray, you can just use a little bit of butter and put some garlic powder in it, melt it down and brush it on. That's what I did at home. I used about half of a tablespoon for the 6 breasts with a sprinkle of garlic powder in it. So that's an option as well. So then that is going to go into a 325 degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes. You want to make sure your chicken is reaching at least 165 degrees on the center. Meat thermometers are very helpful for that because I tend to, really overcook it if I don't have that meat thermometer. So, so use a meat thermometer. And we have now completed all 3 of our recipes. We've done our avocado brownies, actually 4 recipes, our seasoning mix, our ranch dressing, and our ranch dip chicken. When you take the chicken out, in case you didn't see it in the box,
Yes, it looks much better.
that's what the chicken looks like when it's all done. So really pretty plate there, and I think it makes a really nice balanced meal.
Yeah.
Even with the avocado brownie, this is a really low carb meal with the chicken and the vegetables, so if you were going to indulge in a brownie, this would be a really good meal to do it with.
There you go. What did you sprinkle on the chicken?
Oh, it looks like they sprinkled some parsley and some green onions on there just to give it a little bit of color.
Nice.
So all about presentation here at the hospital too.
Yes.
I think that's something that we try to do here for our patients as well. We want our food to look good because if our food doesn't look good, then the patients don't want to eat it. So I think we're doing a good job here
Yes, it's
at
wonderful.
our hospital and our kitchen, trying to make food that our patients actually want to eat. And our employees too.
Yes. So, well, welcome back.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining me again for a second time. I guess I didn't scare you off too much.
You did not. It just took 4 years to forget.
You forget a lot after 4 years.
Yes, you did.
So thank you so much for joining me, and thank you to our live audience and our viewers at home for joining us today as well for our February Live It, Love Ranch. So, do I have any questions in the audience?